Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching Chernobyl. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching episode 2 of Chernobyl, and the first episode really set the stage. I definitely already really despise some of the characters and the fact that they're based off of real people. I have to be very careful because when I know something is not based off of something real and I know that it's a fake character, it's really easy to say the words hate. And for me, I try not to hate real people that exist in the world or have existed in the world. I try to just dislike them very much, despise them. But hate, I think, is reserved for things that are not real. And this is very much based off of reality. Now, it was very kind of people to tell me that they kind of cover at the end of the series what was dramatized, what wasn't, what they left out, what they kept in, things that were maybe too much to even put in the show. So not that I'm looking forward to that, but I'm really interested to see what those differences are, mainly because they've already kind of displayed something that is absolutely horrific and unforgivable. The fact that the government failed, that the people at the company failed, the people at the top of the company failed. It failed everybody that was in a lower position or was a civilian or even with the fire brigade. They should have never been there. They 100% are not going to make it because of the proximity to the graphite. We saw the guy holding, Misha, I think, was holding it in his hand and what it did to his hand, and they're all burnt, and that is just on the surface. That doesn't tell you what it does to the insides and how much it changes just human, just biology and what it goes through being so close to that amount of radiation. I have to center myself because I'll start crying if I even think about it. And I know that we're going to see that on display and see the real horrors that happened to these people, whether it is people that were up close like the fire brigade or that were inside where the reactor was looking down on it, but the people that, there's a chemical cloud and it rains, or they eat food that because the radiation leached into the groundwater, that we saw the bird fall out of the sky at the very end. Yeah, death. So toxic. And if you don't die, what happens, later on in life, whether it is cancer or, what it can do to your reproductive systems and what it can do to those future children. Heartbreaking. Now, I'm sure we're going to get more into the investigation behind Chernobyl, the probable and possible cover-up, which I'm sure is why at the beginning we were introduced to, I think, a reporter. I know that his job specifically deals with the almost like a biotech kind of thing, or like radiation or power plants. But he gathered information for 2 years and it was too much for him. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. Again, I only know the 2 actors, Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård, and I think just with those 2 people alone, just an absolute stellar cast. But then, I think the people that are playing the civilians, I'm already Lumila, and just her worrying about her husband and her worrying about the people that are standing underneath the ash cloud. And I'm sure that in the reactor or in the building where the reactor is located, all of the workers, that's devastating. But the people that were innocent, that were far away and thought they were far away, that's heartbreaking. I did have a Patreon member share with me that he was born in Kiev and his family actually had to ship him to Moscow when this happened, to be with family friends because of the proximity in which they were close to the Chernobyl accident or cover up. I don't know what we're calling it. I don't really know how it happened. We had the guy that was in the basement that was continually saying that he was sorry. And he must have known something was wrong or something was off. Or they very much pushed it in a way of saying these things don't just explode. There was either a bomb or like something else, and like, but like they don't just explode. So something went wrong. And the fact that they were running a safety test, I don't know if they were like, well, what would happen if we don't do this? Well, bad. We probably shouldn't have done that. I'm not quite sure, and I'm sure we'll get more into that story. And I really want to know what happened and how it happened, because if they're saying that a reactor doesn't just blow, then some form of negligence happened, and the crying while he's opening up the drains, that sucks. And then just everybody at the top wanting to cover it up and say that nothing's wrong and not letting the people leave, and they can't make phone calls, and just not being able to get it out. Like I was so affected by that first episode that I watched the movie Train to Busan, and literally all I could think of was government cover up. And like that's how it's just affected me. And so like I'm trying to keep my anger in check about it, but at the same time, like I'm wanting more information and wanting to just get the full story. But there's a fire that's burning in here, and I'm glad it's only 5 episodes, because if it was any more than that, I don't know if my little heart could take it. So guys, it's so hard for me to not be like chipper and excited and be like, hey guys, welcome back to the channel, because I'm always so excited to watch things. But I think the tone of this show, it doesn't fit, and I'm not trying to cheer people up. I'm trying to get the story, understand the story, feel the story, and let you guys know how I feel about that. And so if it seems a little somber, it's not just the darker hair. I promise I didn't go full emo on you guys. It's mostly just because I'm trying to respect the tone of the show, and I think it deserves that. So guys, let's get into it. I actually had a dream about the dosimeters too. That's how much it's messed with me. 7 hours after the explosion. It's my sister's birthday.
You work too hard.
Oh, I recognize her. I don't know from what though.
Where is everyone?
Oh, they refused to come in.
Why?
It's Saturday.
There was an explosion. Wait, is that
Why did you
Laris
come in?
Oh, it's
from House of the Dragon?
boiling in here.
It is. Sorry, I shouldn't get excited. It's a very somber tone. From him opening up the window, it went off?
It would have gone off before. It's coming from outside.
The Americans?
Oh, yeah, and everyone reminded me this is during the Cold War, obviously. And that it's not Russia, it's the USSR. But the fact that the Cold War was happening, so everyone was really scared about, like, nuclear war happening.
Reactor fuel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously they know about the explosion.
Maybe 240 kilometers away.
Oh, wait, they don't know about Chernobyl. Is that because it hasn't been leaked to anybody? It hasn't been covered?
It's Chernobyl, but that's not possible. They're 400 kilometers away.
Oh, it is
too far
Chernobyl.
for 8 milli Röntgen. They'd have to be split open. Maybe they know something.
If nobody answers the phone, I'd worry.
Something with a space program, like a satellite or...
Yeah, they're not answering. The reactor blew.
No one's answering the phone.
Ooh, that subtle change in his face. He immediately got scared.
Get everyone started on an IV.
We don't have enough.
Of all the children, then.
But we don't have enough.
As many as you can.
They don't have enough for even the children?
In 16.
Oh,
What are you doing? What is that?
Milk. It's milk. Much better than water.
No, stop! These are radiation burns. Their clothes are contaminated. Help me!
maybe wear gloves?
Get it all off. We're taking it down to the basement.
Tell you, it's crazy. Like at hospitals, sometimes they test people for like pneumonia. And then when it tests positive, that's when they start putting on protective gear. Like, just already have that shit on. I know this is the 80s. I need to stop. Ranting. Oh, good. Lumila, I'm so happy. I mean, I don't want her around any of this, but I don't think she's gonna go unscathed. Y'all are just walking around with radiated gear on you. Yeah. I don't know if gloves would have helped, quite frankly. God, I just feel the tension. Like, I feel anger just boiling over, and it's the beginning of the episode.
Would you care to read Deputy Chairman Shabina's report while you wait?
Certainly, thank you.
Report over the incident. He's going to find some things that, like, aren't true or, like, can't happen, or... Or something incredibly true that he finds shocking. Is he devastated? Is he shocked?
All right, Professor, they're ready. Professor Legasov?
He's so good. Chernobyl is so good. My God. There he is.
Thank you all for your duty to this commission. We will begin with Deputy Chairman.
I always knew who Gorbachev is.
Thank you, Comrade General Secretary. I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable. Military and civilian patrols have secured the region, and Colonel General Piccolo. In terms of radiation, Plant Director Bricano reports no more than 3.6 Rontgen. I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest X-ray, so if you're overdue for a checkup...
If there's nothing else...
Please, speak up, speak up. No. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
A fireman was severely burned on his hand by a chunk of smooth black mineral graphite. There's graphite on the ground.
No one knows what that means. Explain it to him. No one's gonna listen. I'm so upset.
And as for the radiation...
Yes, 3.6 Rontgen, which, by the way, is not the equivalent of one chest X-ray, but rather 400 chest X-rays. That number's been bothering me for a different reason, though. It's also the maximum reading on low-limit dosimeters. They gave us the number they had.
Not the real
true
number.
number is much, much higher. If I'm right, this fireman was holding the equivalent of 4 million chest X-rays in his hand.
Professor Legasov, there's no place for alarmist hysteria.
It's not alarmist if it's a fact.
Thank you.
Professor Legasov.
Boris, I will allow it.
Okay, good. Thank God. I don't know if it matters. It probably won't make a difference.
Every atom of U-235 is like a bullet. That's 3 million, billion, trillion bullets in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat.
That's what my concern was.
Most of these bullets will not stop firing for 100 years. Some of them not for 50,000 years.
Yes, and this concern stems entirely from the description of a rock.
A piece of the building.
Yes.
A piece of the building. That the only piece that it could be around is the core.
Comrade Shabina, I want you to go to Chernobyl.
Wise decision, Comrade General Secretary.
And take Professor Legasov with you.
Forgive me.
Wrench in the
Comrade
gears
General
there, eh?
Secretary, but I don't...
Do you know how a nuclear reactor works?
No.
Wow, asking
Well,
an
then
expert to
how
go.
will
That's
you know
nice.
what you're looking at? Meeting a giant.
Okay, that's like the only wise thing that has been done thus far. Besides him saying, hey, that's not good. Sorry, Boris.
How does a nuclear reactor work?
What?
It's a simple question.
Is it?
It's hardly a simple answer.
Thank you.
Tell me how a nuclear reactor works, or I'll have one of these soldiers throw you out of the helicopter.
Jesus, that's extremely Russian, is it not?
In RBMK reactors, we surround the fuel rods with graphite to moderate the neutron flux.
Good. I know how a nuclear reactor works.
Do you? I'm still
No, I don't need you.
fuzzy on it. I don't think it's that simple to just have a little diagram and just be like, now I don't need the expert.
Take her away from here, take, please.
Get away from them.
Oh my God.
You want to get sick? Go.
Please take her, please take her. Please, please.
Oh,
Please take her.
well, we saw the result of them being outside.
Ignitenko, 6th Paramilitary Fire and Rescue Unit. I need to find him. please.
Ignatenko. He's being transported by helicopter to Moscow.
But they're not letting us leave here.
Tell them Major Burov allows it.
Will that work?
When are they taking him?
Now.
Oh my god, girl, get out of here. I mean, obviously Vasily is not going to make it. There's no way. He was that close to that graphite.
Hey, to see inside.
I don't have to. Look, that's graphite on the roof. The core's exposed.
I can't see how you can tell that from here.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Because he's the expert.
Well, if we can't see, we don't know. Get us directly over the building.
Boris,
don't use
we
my
fly
name.
directly over.
I never
Our
trusted your
reactor will be
advice.
dead within a week. Dead! Sir?
Get us over that building, or I'll have you shot.
If you fly directly over that core, I promise you by tomorrow morning you'll be begging for that bullet.
I know they don't, because obviously he makes it for 2 years, but... My god, Boris is awful! What a stupid risk to take when the expert is telling you not to. This show's gonna give me a coronary. Or a stroke, or something, because I've got so much tension happening. And everything itches now. Was she in Harry Potter? I'm trying to remember how I know her.
I must tell you, this is why no one likes scientists. When we have a disease to cure, where are they? In a lab, noses in their books, and so Grandma dies.
Well, maybe they haven't figured out a cure, you jackass.
There has been an accident at Chernobyl, but I've been assured there is no problem.
I'm telling you that there is.
I prefer my opinion to yours.
I'm sure you
I'm a
do.
nuclear physicist. Before you were deputy secretary, you worked in a shoe factory.
Yes, I worked in a shoe factory, and now I'm in charge.
Maybe listen to experts. Why doesn't anyone ever listen to experts? Iodine.
Stable iodine will keep your thyroid from absorbing radioactive iodine. Get as far from Minsk as you can.
She's very much non-alarmist, didn't slam the door, didn't like act like there was like something crazy going on. Her calmness is actually incredibly soothing in this moment. Good girl. Your boss doesn't care about you.
We'll tell them the truth in the simplest terms possible. We'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we ended with these guys like closing the door and having like information, right? So like now they kind of have to admit what had happened.
We have begun our own inquiry into the cause of the accident, and I have a list of individuals who we believe are accountable.
Oh, not you though. Not you.
Tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes.
An accident.
I'm not prepared to explain it at this time.
As I presumed, there's no answer.
It's disgraceful to spread disinformation at a time like this.
Boris knows.
Why did I see graphite on the roof? Graphite is only found in the core where it's used as a neutron flux moderator. Correct?
Okay.
Farmine, why did the deputy chairman see graphite on the roof?
Oh.
Oh, there can't be.
Tossing it to him.
Now, there you made a mistake. Because I may not know much about nuclear reactors. I know a lot about concrete. You think Legasov is wrong? How shall we prove it?
Our high-range dosimeter just arrived.
Oh, good.
We could cover one of our trucks with lead shielding. Mount the dosimeter on the front.
Fantastic. Get some truth out of the matter.
Given every bit of protection you have, but understand that even with lead shielding, it may not be enough.
Then I'll do it myself.
Oh. Kind of noble. Brave Bakalov. Goodness. I'm still nervous. But, like, how high does their dosimeter go up? Like, what if it, like, maxes out? Turn around, back through it. Don't break your dosimeter! Okay. Like, is it instantaneous results, or do they have to wait for him to come back? I know nothing in the 80s was instantaneous, but, like, do they have, like, something that they can read from where they're at? Oh, man. Oh. All the fire trucks. The show does like such a great job of building tension because I'm almost on the verge of tears.
He's back.
Oh, they had to wait for him to come back. I'm so terrified to know what this reading is.
It's not 3 Röntgen. It's 15,000.
Comets Venus.
Means the fire we're watching with our own eyes is giving off nearly twice the radiation released by the bomb in Hiroshima. And that's every single hour. 20 hours since the explosion, so 40 bombs worth by now. 48 more tomorrow, and it will not stop. It will burn and spread its poison until the entire continent is dead.
How do you stop it? How do you slow it down? 15,000.
Dyatlov was in charge. It was Dyatlov!
I mean, it was, and other people.
You are dealing with something that has never occurred on this planet before.
They have no contingency for this?
Boron. Boron and sand. Of course, it's going to take thousands of drops because you can't fly the helicopters directly over the core, so most of it is going to miss.
How much sand and boron? For God's sake, roughly.
5,000 tons.
Wow.
At least evacuate Pripyat. It's 3 kilometers away.
That's my decision to make.
Then make it.
I've been told not to.
Is it or is it not your decision?
I'm in charge here.
Then act like
Much
it.
easier if you talk to me about the things you do understand and not about the things you do not understand.
Where are you going?
Going to get you 5,000 tons of sand and boron.
I realize he can't evacuate people because he's not at the highest level, and the highest level has said no evacuations.
Anything we should be worried about?
Yeah. A little bit. I wouldn't stay, is what I would say.
No.
Yeah, I know he can't. I know he can't. What a painful lie that was for him. If he's here because of the fire and then he's drinking like that. Oh, man. Wind picking up. Awesome. But they can't get over top of the reactor core, so how are they going to get this in there? Like, do they, like, try to throw it at an angle? Like, I've seen helicopters get water out of pools for, like, forest fires and stuff like that. Like, they have to be pretty damn close.
No. They're too close.
They can't get over the fire. How are they
The wind will have to carry it. They cannot go over the core.
Lead 1 is too close. I repeat, they are too close.
Oh, God. They're in the cloud. Yeah. Immediately dead.
Sir, what do I tell the others?
Throw it at
Is
it.
there any other way, Legazo?
Catapult. Wow. I didn't expect the helicopter to just plummet like that.
I was actually calling about our friend. I wanted to see how he's doing. It's so hot there right now.
Yes, it's extremely hot. But his nephews are flying down.
And they always bring cool weather.
Smart.
Simka, who's 14, and little Boris, who's 5.
I have to get back to work.
Smart. Goodbye. Oh, girl.
They're dropping sand and boron on the fire.
That's what I would do.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
What would you do? Like, I feel like she's got an idea. It's like on the tip of her tongue. It's at the edge of her brain. Give it to me, girl.
Where are you going?
Chernobyl.
Like, knowing what she knows, that is such a risk. I know she's taking iodine, but I don't think that that's like a magical force field.
Professor Ilyin, who's also on the commission, says the radiation isn't high enough to evacuate.
Ilyin isn't a physicist.
Well, he's a medical doctor. If he says it's safe, it's safe.
Not if they stay here.
We're staying here.
Medical
Yes,
doctors
we
don't know
are.
anything about
We'll be
radiation.
dead in 5 years. I'm sorry.
Man, these two in a room. Such great acting. I'm glad to see Boris is kind of being affected by this.
A nuclear plant in Sweden has detected radiation and identified it as a byproduct of our fuel.
Mm-hmm.
The wind has been blowing toward Germany, not letting children play outside.
Smart.
In Frankfurt.
That's how far it's going. It'll only go further. Sweden's incredibly far away, too, isn't it?
The Soviets may have been fairly quick to acknowledge the accident because evidence in the form of mild nuclear radiation had already reached beyond the Soviet borders to Scandinavia.
Mm-hmm. It's like if other countries hadn't noted the radiation, if we didn't take satellite photos, they would have tried to just never let this get out. Are they going to evacuate? They're evacuating. That's why, like, the pictures of Chernobyl is just, everything just left. This would have helped 2 days ago. I'm so happy they're evacuating. I thought it would be like weeks before they did this. And it's not a mass panic either. The guy that didn't want to evacuate, being evacuated. Aww. Somebody told me about a documentary. It's like The Puppies of Chernobyl. I'll probably watch it after this, but I don't want to know anything more than like what they're showing. I don't want anything else to influence how I feel about this.
Turn around right now or I'll arrest you.
If you arrest me, you should take me to the highest possible authority.
Yeah, arrest me. Here I am. Cuff me.
I know the graphite's on fire, the fuel is melting, and you're dropping sand and boron on it, which you probably thought was smart, but you've made a mistake. Olana Yurevnyo Khomyuk, Belarusian Institute for Nuclear Energy.
What is the mistake?
The temperature will eventually increase, it will melt down.
I'm perfectly aware, but I estimate at least a month's time.
No, you don't have a month, you have approximately 2 days.
Oh.
Пострадавшим оказывается помощь. Создана правительственная комиссия.
Are people being given iodine? Like, are they just moving them? The medical personnel? God. Okay. Gorbachev looks mad.
Our power comes from the perception of our power. Do you understand the damage this has done? Do you understand what's at stake?
That's all he cares about is optics.
When the lava enters these tanks, it will instantly superheat and vaporize, causing a significant thermal explosion.
Oh, goodness.
We estimate between 2 and 4 megatons. Everything within a 30-kilometer radius will be completely destroyed, including the 3 remaining reactors at Chernobyl, and likely be fatal to the entire population of Kiev, as well as a portion of Minsk.
For much of the area, a nearly permanent disruption of the food and water supply. A steep increase in the rates of cancer and birth defects. I don't know how many deaths there will be, but many. For Belarusia and the Ukraine, impact means completely uninhabitable for a minimum of 100 years.
So we know this doesn't happen because people still live there.
And how long before this happens?
Approximately 48 to 72 hours.
How do we stop it? Can we?
But
do we?
We may have a solution.
Thank you.
The tanks are sealed shut by a sluice gate, and the gate can only be opened manually from within the duct system itself. So we need to find 3 plant workers. Of course, we will need your permission.
My permission for what?
Any of it.
They'll likely be dead in a week.
We're asking for your permission to kill 3 men.
I knew that was going to be the case. I need this makeup to last all day, and it's not going to. It's just not going to. Oh, the puppies. betting most of this is like based off of real images of Chernobyl.
Do you even know how contaminated it is?
You're going to die.
I don't have an exact number.
You don't need an exact number to know if it will kill us.
Yep.
But you can't even tell us that. Why should we do this? For what, 400 rubles?
You'll do it because it must be done. And if you don't, millions will die. If you tell me that's not enough, I won't believe you. I spit on the people who did this, and I caused the price I have to pay. I'm making my peace with it. Now you make yours, and go into that water.
Jesus.
Because it must be done.
I know he's right, but sucks. It's always like good, hardworking civilians that are always put at risk.
On an ankle.
Where's Parlov? Baranov.
Superheroes. Just being sent to their deaths. That's why superhero movies are so great, because it seems like nothing can harm them, and when it's everyday people, it's like they can just die so easily. I could see why Legoslav took his own life. Being involved in this and watching these people do these things, knowing that they're gonna die. I mean, they saved millions of lives. These guys are heroes. Whatever happened to the guys that were down here that were opening up the valves? Oh my god, the dosimeters are just going nuts. I'm gonna start panicking. My god. Oh god, I don't want them to die in the dark. I feel so sick to my stomach. Okay. Always a fun time watching Chernobyl. Lots of laughs. Great comedy. You know, I really thought that, like, Boris was going to be somebody that wasn't going to... that he wasn't going to face reality. And it seemed like the more and more he learned, the more and more he started to understand what was happening, what was going on, and the urgency of it. Especially when him and Legoslav are just sitting in the room together and the phone rings. Like, he kind of has that realization, and he sits down, and then the phone rings, and he gets the information that just piles it on, that millions of people are going to be affected, that Sweden has detected radiation, that the American satellites, you know, like, just if this didn't spread as far as it did, other countries might not necessarily have ever known about it. And the fact that it was so big, it was too big to contain information, radiation, you know, just responsibility. And you know, my nose is running because I've just been like, I have to apologize. I don't know if this is a good reaction series or not for me to be reacting to, because I feel like most of the time my mouth is just hanging open and I'm in like shock and awe, you know, especially the guys that were originally in, I think it was in Piat, that were like trying to like pass the blame off onto the other guy. And then even when they were pulling them away, I was like, it's this guy's fault, it's this guy's fault. And it's just like, oh my God, like it's your fault too. And seeing the old guy that was like saying, we need to contain the city, we need to stop the spread of misinformation, to see him get on the bus to be taken away is just, Look, it's easy for me to say like, well, all you have to do is like listen to experts, because that's what I do. Like when somebody knows something more than me, I listen to them. And I will say experts always know better, and to dismiss them is absolute ignorance. And it like just there's a level of pride there that makes you not want to be wrong. Like the guy in the office that just says, I like my opinion better. And then Yulana gives his secretary the iodine tablets. Like it's stuff like that is so frustrating, that like optics are more important than anything else, and kind of controlling the narrative is more important than anything else. And, not wanting to be wrong, or not wanting somebody to tell you what to do that is below you, or like somebody like trying to give you information that you just don't want to believe because somebody else said something else, like not listening to experts is so irritating. And I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying expert, but I am. We saw Vasily being taken away in a helicopter. And we saw Lumila be told that like she could get through to go to Moscow. I don't think that's going to save Vasily's life. But we saw the couple that wanted to like watch the fire go up, and their baby, they're burnt, and like they're not good. Oh my gosh. And then the nurses taking all the gear and like throwing it out because it's radioactive, like they're touching it with their bare hands. Just a failure on so many levels. And it's, like I said, easy. Hindsight is always 20/20. And like me being like, well, what you should have done. Just believe experts. People who know their field, that are experts in their field, that know the science of things. Like, Jesus. Believing a medical doctor as opposed to a nuclear physicist. Come on. Medical doctors don't know jack shit about nuclear energy. They don't know anything about radiation. Medical doctors are great at diagnosing colds and writing you a referral to an expert in that field. Again, I take everything back to general dentistry. We do a lot of restorative work. We fix things. We make things look pretty. We make things function properly. But if something is beyond my doctor's ability, he has no problem passing it to the guy or the gal that knows more than him and has the ability to do those things because they are an expert in their field. He doesn't try to do things that are beyond his knowledge level and his expertise. And he knows when he's reached his level. And, there are a lot of doctors that don't do that. And they think like, well, I can handle it. It seems like an easy case. It seems like a simple case. Or, in this case, the doctor is just like, it's not that bad. Not that bad. It's fine. 3.6 Rutigen, that's fine. That's the max out limit. And then 15,000. We still don't know how the reactor core blew. And now these three men, these three superheroes that are risking their lives, they're in the dark. I don't know if they have like those sticks that you like break open and, they have a light from them. I don't know if they have those, but like the fact that your light bulbs aren't making it and the dosimeters are just jumping like crazy, like they're just being cooked alive. Okay, so we got Ananenkov, Bezpalov, and Baranov. Superheroes. Volunteering to go in there when pretty much everyone knows that they're going to die. Like, what an act of bravery and self-sacrifice for millions. And I know that Legoslav and Boris are, they're doing their job, but like really, Legoslav knew that he was sending men to his death and men to their deaths and did not tell them. And they knew. And then Boris being like, because it's the right thing to do. I know this 100%. You want the experts to go in because they know where to go. And you trust that they know what they're doing. And they're not sacrificing these men in a way of just being like, no one cares about them. It's just that they are important. They are the experts in their field. So they trust those experts when, it's like, oh, the possibility of death is 100%. but not the experts that are telling you that, like, hey, you need to worry about this, until it starts piling on and the whole world knows. And then it's like, well, maybe we should do this. I mean, the helicopter, if that wasn't a selling point to Boris, because Boris wanting to fly over the reactor core to look down on it, and Legoslav like freaking out and just being like, absolutely not, like we will be dead in a week, they would have been dead almost instantaneously. And I don't know why the pilot thought that he needed to go into the smokestack. Why did he think he needed to do that? Immediately dead. That was a sight. That was an absolute sight. My gosh. But now we're evacuated. I don't think that that's going to be particularly helpful to any of the people that were directly affected by it. You know, like the people that were outside watching everything and the ash was falling on them. All those kids dead. You know, there are still people that were going about their daily lives, and, you know, they're just now all on buses. And I'm wondering if a lot of those like images we're seeing are like directly taken from Chernobyl. I know that they have a thing that plays after this, like that kind of tells you about the episode a little bit. And I don't really watch those because, I mean, maybe I should, because then I get a very clear understanding of what happened instead of my interpretation of what I think I saw. But I'm sure they go over those things. And maybe I should watch it. Maybe I will after this, because I don't want it to inform my commentary of all of a sudden I'm just like, this is what happened. You guys are like, you're so smart. And I'm like, hey, I watched the end thing. I don't want to do that. I kind of want you to go off of what I think I saw and what I got from it and my experience with it, rather than me just going like, okay, well, this is the regurgitated information that they said at the end. But like even the dogs running around, you know, people were telling me about some of the documentaries that have been made, and like there's one that's like the puppies of Chernobyl, and like they're like, it's really cute, and I'm like, I bet, but it's how we got to that point that I haven't really sat well with yet. And now the next episode, I don't know where we're going to start, because we ended in a very dark place, not only figuratively, but literally. And I don't know, like I said, if there's going to be like a little crack thing where they're like, we have this light now. I don't know when those were invented. You can't light up a flare. I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know. I definitely, again, go with the experts of their field, and I don't know how the science of nuclear fission works with an explosive. I'm always just like, oh no, everything's going to blow up. And that's not really how it works. And it's taken me 3 years of me like being freaked out about like nuclear anything, and people like trying to tell me the science of certain things, especially that I say nuclear instead of nuclear. I'm not going to stop anytime. Maybe it's where I'm from, because like I definitely, like, other people say it that way. They do. There's a thing with Brendan Fraser, actually. I think he was like saying two different versions of nuclear and nuclear, but I have to like really think hard to say nuclear. Nuclear. Yeah. Nuclear. Whatever. Anyway, it's not about me. Anyway, yeah, I'm absolutely horrified. I'm angered. My stomach hurts. The idea of like all these people being hurt, all these people being sent to their deaths, all these people, you know, just people wanting to shrug, to not like really have any responsibility of it, and saying Dyatlov was the one, Dyatlov. And it's because you didn't want to listen to experts. You didn't want to have anyone freak out. And, you know, that starts at the top, because if you teach people that like they cannot act that way, and that like there is no sense of urgency, and that you can't speak out against government, you can't speak out against elders, people that are higher up in companies, you know, that you can't speak out against the military, all of these things, you know, then they get afraid to speak up, or they just want to like go with the flow. And the flow sometimes is going right into a nuclear reactor. But guys, if you do want to watch the full-length reaction to this, it will be available on my Patreon. It's a lot of me just being absolutely angry and not saying much, because the information that they give while they're giving it is absolutely heartbreaking, breathtaking, jaw-dropping, awestruck. It is awful. But there is up to one episode early on my Patreon, so if you want to see the edited reaction before anyone else, that will be available up there as well. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Don't dislike, but like liking something that is heartbreaking. I totally get it. It's hard. This is a hard watch. And it's a hard thing to just keep thinking that it's based off of a true story. And I know that, some things get dramatized, some things are not dramatized, and some things are left out completely because it might be too much. And I thank them for that, but the things that they're leaving in are absolutely horrifying. It's a hard watch, but I'm glad that I'm doing it. I'm glad that I am kind of learning more about this instead of just knowing that it was something that happened. And sometimes knowing the horrors of things that are real make you a more empathetic person. I think I'm already a fairly empathetic person. And, I already have a hard time with real things in the world, which is why I typically can't really watch the news. I can hear about it secondhand, but like for it to be like right in my face, it's extremely hard for me because I am emotional and I do feel things deeply to my core. But I'm happy that I am watching this because it's very important. It's an important part of history. And I know it's not a historical like documentary, but, and I have to take things kind of either with a grain of salt or with a lot more heaviness than I think they're being presented. And I think that it is a roller coaster and it is a slalom course just navigating that. But at the same time, I do think it's important to take it for what it is and then, watch more documentaries on it and see more things about it to have, instead of a narrow scope of just a show, to have a broader perspective of everything. So I will definitely do that once I am finished with the series. So right now it might seem like I am very, like thinking that this is gospel, and I definitely don't think that, but it is the only information I currently have, and I don't want anything to influence my reaction, so it's the only information that I will have until I learn more, and then I'm sure I'll be probably even more horrified. Yeah, so guys, come back here for the next episode. I wish I could be like, I can't wait, but like I'm steadfast, vigilant. Guys, come back here for the next episode. And in the meantime, I'll see ya.